This is Eric with Gulf Coast Design. I want to talk a little bit about relationships that you're going to build with your customers and relationships that you're going to build with the companies that you purchase your equipment from, whether it be Thunder Laser, Tech, X-Tool, whoever it might be. And look, I want to be clear here. To start this business, you do not need a large machine. You don't need one. You don't need an expensive machine either. I'm not here to sell Thunder products. They don't pay me to sell their products. They never will pay me to sell their products. I just happen to like their products. So, having said that, they are a little bit more expensive than the Tech to X-Tool. But if you decide to go into this with an Tech laser or an X-Tool, that's a great start. They're great base machines. Nothing wrong with them. A little bit more maintenance is involved, I understand. Having never owned one, I really can't tell you. I've actually seen a few in person, going to a few shops, visiting a few shops, and they seem to be pretty sturdy and well made. They just take a little bit more upkeep than what we have here. So just get that out of the way. Okay, so as far as relationships, what I want to get on that is, if you're not having success using social media, you're probably using social media to get leads, not get relationships or gain relationships. So every customer is a relationship that you need to grow, because that customer is going to fuel another customer. So every customer that you build a relationship gets you another lead. And in most cases, it gets you multiple leads. That's something that we've noticed. All our customers, we have first name relationships. We exchange phone numbers. We share family information. Those little things go so far. And I'm talking about our local customers, even customers that are beyond local that you deal with, that you might be shipping to. Build them relationships. Very, very key. Very key. So go into social media wanting to make or build relationships with the customers or the leads that you have gained. Don't go into social media trying to gain leads. Put your content out there. And I've always said this, put your content out there, and put some content out there that's entertaining. Whether it be funny video, whether it be a video about what you're doing. Not selling, don't sell, just a fun video. Try to do that. Then every once in a while, throw some activities, that family activity or dog or cat or whatever. We prefer the animals because they're a lot of fun, and we have a lot of animals at our house. We rescue animals all the time. So those little things grow over time and add and fuel your business, and potentially arms you for the next year and then the next year, and every year it's exponential, the growth. Something that I've had happen multiple times, I think I have a product that's going to be a hit. I'm just so 100% sure it's going to be a major hit, and it's a bust. It doesn't hit. Not necessarily a bust, it just doesn't hit. It doesn't blow up and everybody wants it. Those are frustrating. Don't let it get you down, because the next great idea is always around the corner. And some of the silliest things that I've come up with have been hits. Things that I never thought would be a hit. Something that I sell to individuals is it's basically cuss words in a jar. So you save them up, or you can have cuss words cut out in a jar. Put them in a jar and put them on your desk, and people think they're funny. Put them on their desk at home. But that's not something I advertise, but I have them in my shop, and people see them and they go, oh, I got, and just about every time when a customer sees that jar, they want a jar of cuss words. kind of silly thing. And I did that as a joke, actually, for me and my wife. It was just, I'm going to make me a jar of cuss words because I'm cussing. I'm trying to figure out the machine when we first started. It was frustrating, but we got past that, and then guess what? I got a product from it. Now, as far as I'm talking about the year over year, you've got to have some good documentation about what you're selling, and do a ledger. And I'm going to keep on preaching on this, because what sells today, what sells this time of year will sell this time next year. typically. Hot summer months or cold winters or whatever it might be. Back to school, not back to school. Christmas time, not Christmas time. Holiday, 4th of July, Mother's Day, Father's Day. It always changes, right? So keep a ledger, and my ledger is going on 3 years now. It's going to be coming up to 3 years. And I'm seeing a trend, and I follow that trend. I look back and I say, okay, this month is hot. And so when it warms up, see more tumblers, you sell more tumblers. Cools down, you sell more coffee cups. And then you start selling more whiskey glasses and decanters and stuff like that, whiskey flask. Wedding season is in the spring. So a lot of wedding products or tumblers and things of that nature for weddings, guest book alternatives, guest books, engraving leathers, engraving Bibles, things like that for the weddings. So those trends are key to post on your socials to kind of, because every area is different. I really believe that every area is going to be different. Our town is, well, I say we're a town, we're more of a small town, and no pun intended, but a small area. There's not a big population. We don't live in a metropolitan. We live more rural. So ours is a little bit more, a little smaller than a larger area. The more people you have, the more opportunity you have for business as well, but more opportunity you have for competition that's going to beat you on price. And I'll touch on that again. Don't fear competition. If you want to put a product out there that's that much better than everybody else's, don't worry about it. I try to take my product to another level. Whenever I go to an event or a craft fair, we don't sell at craft fairs. We don't go to them. We sell through our shop. That's what we do, and online ordering. But when we go to craft fairs, I get a lot of ideas, and I actually, when I look at a customer's, or let me back up. When I look at the competition's product, I want to make my product, if it's similar, I want to make it better. I'm always trying to make it better. One up, one better, one better, one better each time. The product that you're engraving, or the product that you're painting, something that you see a lot of people do is they paint raw plywood, and they engrave it, or they engrave it and paint raw plywood, or however. Raw plywood has a rough texture, and that feel is not pleasing to the hand, and smoother the better. And if you can sand your plywood and make it smooth surface before you actually sell the product. I actually buy UV coated plywood, cabinet grade plywood. It's more expensive, but the product in the end comes out super glossy, and it looks like it's made out of acrylic. And that's where I want to go with what I make. I want it to shine. I want it to pop. I want it to look as though it was done in a factory where that's all we build. But we don't. We build a lot of things. So make your product stand above everybody else's product, and you're going to be successful. So your leads, build relationships to get leads. Don't have social media, use social media to get leads. Use social media to build relationships, and the leads will come. So that's my take on it. If you have an idea that you think is the next big idea, test it out, put it out there, and see if you get a hook on it. We have the capability of making stuff that's small, so I can make it, sell it this big, but I can make it small and use it as a test piece and put it on social media to see. And we do that all the time. And when you see a test piece that gets some traction or excitement on social media, you know you've got something. So whether it be a door hanger or something like that, make it small. Make it small, put it out there. So for example, when I do photos, photo boards, do photos on wood. I use the same kind of wood every time. I don't change because I know the wood that I need to use, and I use maple. I only use maple for my photos. I don't use oak, I don't use anything like I use maple because the grain structure is tight and the wood is a light color typically, and it engraves very, very well, and it's a good, hard, dense wood. But I always do a small tester on my photos to make sure that I get the right settings, because every piece of wood's a little different. Every photo is a little different. Have to lighten the photo up. You might have to darken the photo up. So always test your products too, to get the best product available, or the best product that your machine can possibly do. So think about those things, how you, on your next idea, can I take it another level? What if I make it small and test it? Try it. It works. It does work, because when you test it, do a small tester rather than make a big proof of concept, a full-size proof of concept. Chances are there's going to be an error. Could be a mistake. It might not turn out quite the way you wanted it, but a small one's easy to pitch and throw away and start over. A big one, you gotta swallow that cost things, and about the lasers, and doesn't take a high-end piece of equipment to start this business. It does not. It takes a good piece of equipment that you know how to run, that you can maintain, and you run it, and you maximize its capabilities. Once you maximize its capabilities and your business grows, then you can move on to maybe a higher end product to engrave or for your work. So, as we grow, I'm trying to determine which direction am I going to go. Am I going to stay here? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Am I going to go another direction completely? I might. I haven't decided. So, like I said, I don't work for Thunder. They don't work for me. They don't do nothing for me. I don't do nothing for them. I just purchase their products. The product goes down. They help us through the problems. So, be open-minded. One machine's not necessarily better than the other machine. I think the service is, the customer support is more important to me than anything. And as long as I can get customer support or support for the machine through the life of the machine, I'm happy with that. And so far, I've been very satisfied. Now, going forward, what are we going to do? We're definitely growing. And we're going to make a decision what we're going to do as far as the next iteration of this business. Which direction are we going to go? We're going to stick to CO2 and fiber. We're going to go RF. Are we going to go into metal? Are we going to go into CNC wood? There's a lot of things out there that we're tossing around, and doing some homework on it right now, and we'll decide in the next coming months which direction we're going to go. But it's been a great summer for us. Been very productive. I know at the rate we're going, this is not going to maintain the growth that we have year over year. So going forward, how are we going to handle this? What are we going to do? Good problem to have. But at the same time, I don't want to overload myself, my equipment, or the company. And I want to keep the product quality at the highest level it can possibly be at. If I don't do that, I'll fail. Or we will fail. And I have a responsibility, my family, and myself. And this will be maintained, and it will be ran efficiently. Just how we go forward, haven't quite decided yet. So that's my little round table, whatever, my discussion kind of thing. People seem to like this kind of concept that I do. I'm not here to show you how to use the machine. I can. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not. I'm just here to provide any insight that I know that I've learned in this business since being in it. And so far it's been lucrative and it's worked out really well. Remember, always be positive with your customers, always be positive attitude on social media, never negative, never get into politics, never get into religion, always stay down the middle of the road, don't pick a side, none of it. Just stay down the middle of the road. You want all your customers, be a happy person, and enjoy the product and enjoy your own business. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me as far as my work life. It is awesome. I wouldn't change this for nothing. And for that, I'm thankful, I'm blessed, very lucky, very fortunate, and we're gonna keep on rolling. And any questions, drop them down. Please follow, tag, all that good stuff, and like, subscribe, all that business and fun place stuff. And I'll see you next time. This is Eric with Go Gulf Coast Design. Thanks for watching.